Yeah, well, Friday, playing Indiana, that is our only preseason game. I call it our glorified scrimmage. But that is an opportunity for when the lights go on for all of our players that are fighting for a roster position. We'll treat it like any other game. We'll go through the scout starting Wednesday and give them that feel of what that looks like. We'll have a shoot around the morning before the game. And so since it is our only single preseason game, we definitely want to make sure that we set the table and get all the kinks out of the way before May 15th. These players are fighting for their lives. And I keep telling them, though, no matter what decision we make, there's no deadline on dreams. And it's going to be extremely difficult because everyone is playing extremely well. And I made a comment to Greg yesterday that every one of these players could help us win games. We don't want to cut anyone. We've got to cut forward, get down to 11, and the players know it. And so they're bringing a lot of energy and a competitive spirit, and it's an evaluation every day. It could be the difference between a good day of practice or not. I mean, that's how close we are. It could be a possession or two that's the difference. And so, but I will give credit to these young ladies. They're still coming in with a high spirit, competitive, bringing that championship mentality, a growth mindset, and you can see that they're competing because they want to be here and a part of the Dallas Wings.
A sold-out crowd is on hand in Arlington to see a preseason game featuring a matchup between the team's number 5 overall draft pick, J.C. Sheldon, and the consensus NCAA Player of the Year, Caitlin Clark of the Indiana Fever. Record TV ratings, new highs in season ticket sales, and now a sold-out exhibition game.
You're in control of your confidence. No one can take that away unless you give it away when you go out there. I think of a young man that was big boy, clumsy, couldn't run. He was a high school player, desperately wanting to go to the college level. Did not have any recruits to go to the college level. 0. Until one gentleman had faith in him. Only one offer. And that was Shaquille O'Neal. Okay, so sometimes it just takes a teammate to give faith. Okay, so again, you breathe life into one another. Have fun, play together, but I'm going to tell you something. I don't care what game this is. If it's today, 10 weeks from now, or whatever it is, you always play to win. Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go. Let's get it, baby.
We gonna be 1, 2, 3. Wings.
We are underway. Both coaches saying that this is going to be a huge test. They want to see where they are in camp. Crowd already standing. Jalen Brown, perseverance with a capital P, gets her first WNBA points. She last played in the United States at Cal back in 2020, averaged over 15 a ball game that season.
And again, Jalen Brown. Let's go, Jalen Brown. She said, y'all might not know my name, but you will know my name after tonight.
Sheldon's first basket is a three. Enrique gets away from Wallace. Sheldon on Arthur buries the three. Jalen Brown, what a debut tonight. Oh my, here's the story. Jalen Brown, 15 points.
Jalen Brown said, y'all are going to talk about me tonight.
Enrique on Hall. Enrique, step back for the lead. shot at the buzzer, not gonna do it for Caitlin Clark.
She was at Cal. She had a teammate or two who were on the WNBA draft radar. As I was scouting those players, I was introduced to Jaylen Brown in terms of how she played and what she played at Cal. And I liked her game. Uber athletic player, a lot of bounce to her game, pro-style body, looked the part of a W player. A player who didn't get a lot of opportunity at Cal her first 3 years. Her fourth year at Cal, she took a significant leap in terms of her productivity. I think she averaged about 15 points a game. But ultimately kind of fell through the quote-unquote WNBA cracks and wasn't drafted. Went overseas and has played a lot of different places overseas. She's had a couple really good years, the last 2 years in Turkey, and I've watched her over the last 4 or 5 years, and she's gotten better every year. And she's doing some things now that weren't part of her game when she was in college. So as we thought about free agent invitees, knowing that Satu was going to be missing a big chunk of the season and knowing we were looking for athletic wings to help fill that void that Satu delivers for us, she fit what we were looking for. So we offered her a training camp contract, and I knew that she would be productive, and I thought she would have a good opportunity to make our team, but she has been better than I anticipated.
I kind of lost the love for basketball during my college years, and so I decided not even to go into the draft. I wasn't sure that I was going to be playing basketball anymore, but I ended up getting an agent, kind of just going through that whole process of playing overseas, and so I decided to quit basketball after France. I ended up getting a job as a registered behavior technician for kids with autism. So I started working with them for a couple months, and during that time, a coach from Sweden messaged me on Instagram and wanted to see, I guess he was watching film from someone else, and he was like asking if I was still playing. I was like, no, not really, but I decided to give it one more shot. He's like, the opportunity's there if you want it, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna go for it. So I ended up having the greatest experience there, and I decided that I wasn't gonna stop playing basketball.
So much of our league is about confidence and mentality. Everyone in the WNBA, whether you're here for 10 years or 10 days, is an unbelievably gifted basketball player. You don't get to this level of consideration. You don't get this close to it if you're not. So a lot of it comes down to confidence and mentality, and that's the biggest adjustment for a player stepping onto the court in the WNBA for the first time. She stepped on the court Friday night, and she looked like, and I believe she 100% believed that she belonged. There are very few things in life that feel better and that are more rewarding than telling a player they've made the team. Particularly a player who wasn't the #1 overall draft pick, a surefire lock to be on a W roster, and is known for a long time that the next 10 years of their life is going to be playing professional basketball in the WNBA. Jaylen Brown is an example of that. Here's a kid who had a under-the-radar college career, wasn't drafted, has spent the last 4 or 5 years playing professional basketball in countries around the world to keep her dream of being a pro player alive and to keep the dream of ultimately playing in the best league in the world, the WNBA, alive. And we had that opportunity this past weekend. We played on Friday night. We saw what we already knew in the game Friday night, that she's a WNBA player and we need her, we want her on our team. So Coach and I had the opportunity to call her in Saturday morning and tell her that she made the team. And I get emotional just thinking about it, because here's a kid that probably at some point in the recent past, for a lot of the recent past, probably didn't think that moment was ever going to happen. She signs a training camp contract. She's a long shot to make the team. She comes in, and right time, right moment in terms of her development and in terms of what we need, she seizes that opportunity, and she's lucky. And I say lucky because to me, you define lucky when opportunity meets being prepared. She was given an opportunity, and she spent the last 4 years preparing for that opportunity, and she ran with it. She ran through that door of opportunity. And it was an emotional moment for her. It was an emotional moment for Coach. It was an emotional moment for me. And there's far little in life that's better than moments like that.
You know, during this time, the stress level is high for everyone, especially the ones that are trying to make a roster spot. And after that game, we called Jalen into the coach's locker room, and she was a little nervous coming in, but this is the moments that you want to see. And when you have, you know, tell someone that they made the roster and know that their dreams came true. When Greg told Jalen that she made the roster, she kind of grabbed my arm and she just looked down, hesitated for a moment, and she said, I'm so sorry, I think I'm going to cry. And about that time, she just put both of her, her face in both of her hands, and the tears started to roll. And it just you could have heard a pin drop in there.
It was very emotional, very, just because I've worked it for so long. I was going on 3 years trying to make it to the W. It was just a huge moment, just everything coming together all at once, and it was beautiful.
How grateful and thankful she was. I know that she's been working so hard overseas, and to have a chance to be in the WNBA and to be a part of our Dallas Wings organization, that is one moment that I will never forget.
We're fortunate that we have a group of athletes who prioritize the community as much as the organization prioritizes the community, whether that be Satu going out and doing a food drive, or it's Arike doing a teacher lounge makeover. Our team, our players are committed, along with our partners, to making North Texas a better place to work, play, and live.
Hey guys, it's Teacher Appreciation Week, and it means so much to me to be able to come to Baylor Junior High and give out Wendy's breakfast. It's been so great seeing all the teachers and just thanking them, for everything they do for the students. I know I've had so many great teachers in my life that I wouldn't be here without them.
Having Satu be an integral part of our program here has really made a positive impact on the lives of our youth, and as well as just the lives of the adults in our organization.
It's important for me to be involved in the community because basketball is not everything in life. I wear my jersey maybe, 2 hours out of a game day, and other than that, I still meet my friends, I still do other things, and I'm still a human being. And I think it's important to stay in touch with that. As professional athletes, we are in this bubble, and we have really busy lives. Everything happens from day to day, and you can really get caught up into almost losing yourself. So I like to stay grounded, just stay connected with people and social causes, because it's just what makes me happy and makes me really fulfilled in the end of the day.